Well, good evening. This is Hound Dog Steve coming to you on the 19th of November. It's a Monday evening and it's a very chilly Monday evening. We've got snow on the ground and we're getting into the minuses good and early this year. Anyway, I've got three stories for you this evening, and I'm going to be turning the camera towards the computer screen to tell these stories, and they are basically a cautionary tale of what happens when you delude yourself. So let's flip over to those now, and we'll finish up with a little summing up of what we've just seen. Here we go. So here we are, first story. No! It should actually say, oh no! Because wait and see what this is all about. University bans use of capital letters because they scare students into failure. Students may even then decide that the assessment is too difficult and not attempt it. Oh my God, please. University administrators recently banned lecturers from capitalizing letters in assignments out of concern for students' feelings, the Sunday Express reported. Lee's Trinity Journalism Department issued the prohibition in a memo to staff explaining that uppercase print could scare students into failure. The missive about enhancing students' engagement and achievement included a number of other do's and don'ts. Lecturers were advised to write to students in a friendly tone and to avoid overbearing language and negative instructions. As the Express noted, among the prohibited terms listed were do and don't. The memo, which was obtained by the newspaper, said, despite our best efforts to explain assignment tasks, any lack of clarity can generate anxiety and even discourage students from attempting the assessments at all. Administrators advised that writing in caps could highlight the difficulty of the assignment and thereby cause the students to worry. Panic could then quickly spread to the entire class, they warned. This can lead to further confusion, and students may even then decide that the assessment is too difficult and not attempt it, the memo said. Lee's Trinity defended its sensitivity, saying that the memo simply sought to help lecturers support students so they could achieve their full potential. However, an anonymous lecturer told the Express that caps were needed to highlight important parts of the assignments, echoing growing concerns about the coddling. Oh my God, you wouldn't call this coddling, would you? It's not coddling these little snowflakes, is it? And the creation of a generation of politically correct zealots. The employees said that faculty are fighting an educational system that wants to treat students like children. We are not doing our students any favours with this kind of nonsense, the lecturer said. Well, hear, and kudos to you. Now, this is a sad little story. This is 17 classmates come out as transgender and join the popular crowd. They are being brainwashed into believing they are transgender. 17 students at a British school have come out as transgender, and they are in the process of changing genders, the Mail reported Sunday. According to a veteran teacher at the school, most or all teenagers are autistic and many of them are gay. She averred that few of the students have actual gender dysphoria or a conflict between their gender identity and sex assigned at birth. They are just young people with complex mental health issues who have found an identity and want to be part of a group of like-minded people, she said. Typically, these children are bright outsiders. Carol, as the Mail dubbed the teacher, said she has seen older students grooming younger ones to believe they are the wrong sex. Worried that some of the students may already be taking hormone-blocking drugs to stop puberty or considering sex reassignment surgery. Meanwhile, Carol said officials play along and largely keep parents in the dark because they have either been deceived or cowed by transgender activism. If a child genuinely has gender dysphoria, then of course they should get all the love and support they need, she said, and this is true. But I believe that autistic children who are not transgender are being exploited by the transgender lobby. They are being brainwashed into believing they are transgender. She said, tragically, the end result could be irreversible surgical procedures. This is scandalous. Carol is a mother who has over 20 years' experience in the classroom, and she works at a school in Britain, according to the Mail. The British tabloid left out other identifying details in deference to the teacher's fear of being fired for speaking out. The story was published amid a heated debate in Britain about whether transgender women should be allowed in female-only spaces. The Mail did not provide any corroboration of Carol's account. However, what she said does jive with growing concerns that transgenderism is something of a fad among young people, not to mention that runaway political correctness is wrecking education and culture. A number of experts have warned, including in an Atlantic cover story in June, that parents, teachers and doctors are too quick to accommodate young people who claim to be transgender. They may regret transitioning when they get older. Activists, though, have accused such people of setting back the cause of transgender rights. They have questioned the critics' motives and claimed that cases of mistaken transitions are rare. A Reddit user argued Sunday in response to the Mail story that 17 students being transgender at a large high school would not be statistically improbable given what is known about the number of transgender people in the United States. Well, I think you should be very careful what you wish for. When you start taking these puberty blocking, hormone blocking drugs and getting surgery, it is irreversible. So I think you should leave well alone until you're an adult. When you're over the age of 18, when you're post-pubescent, then you can decide, and I think that should be the rule. No one under the age of 18 is allowed to take puberty blocking drugs or sex reassignment surgery. And of course, this is a sort of story, the next story, this is a sort of thing that you can expect because these people seem to have, sadly, no common sense. Manalio couple bikes near ISIS territory thinking humans are kind and get killed. Evil is a make-believe concept we've invented to deal with the complexities of fellow humans. An idealistic young American couple was killed in an Islamic State-claimed terrorist attack last month while on a cycling trip around the world. Jay Austen and Lauren Guggenhagen, both 29, last year quit their office jobs in Washington, D.C. to embark on the journey. Austen, who worked for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and Guggenhagen, who worked in the Georgetown University Admissions Office, decided that they were wasting their lives working. I've grown tired of spending the best hours of my day in front of a glowing rectangle, of colouring the best years of my life in swaths of grey and beige, Austen wrote on his blog before he quit. I've missed too many sunsets while my back was turned, too many thunderstorms went unwatched, too many gentle breezes unnoticed. You read the papers and you're led to believe the world is a big scary place, Austen wrote. People, the narrative goes, are not to be trusted. People are bad. People are evil. I don't buy it, he continued. Evil is a make-believe concept we've invented to deal with the complexities of our fellow humans holding values and beliefs and perspectives different than our own. By and large, humans are kind, self-interested sometimes, myopic sometimes, but kind, generous, and wonderful and kind. However, Austen and Guggenhagen's dream trip came to a tragic and gruesome end when they got to Tajikistan, a weak state with a known terrorist threat that shares a border with Afghanistan, where ISIS and other terrorist groups are highly active. They were riding their bikes through the country on July 29th when a car rammed them, according to CBS News. 5 men got out of the car and stabbed the couple to death, along with 2 other cyclists, one from Switzerland and the other one from the Netherlands. 2 days later, ISIS released a video showing the same men sitting in front of the group's black flag. They looked at the camera and vowed to kill disbelievers, according to the New York Times. And so this is what you do when you go into the world with, wide eyes and a guileless personality. Because bad things do happen to good people, and not all people are good. So there you go. Don't delude yourself. Well, there you go, and I don't know about you, but I was actually stunned. I was stunned by those stories and bemused, actually, because, I keep wondering What is going to happen when a real crisis comes along? You know, life on this planet is not always easy, and there are plenty of tough obstacles that present themselves in everybody's life. And if you're not especially mentally prepared to face some kind of pushback from life, boy oh boy, you are going to feel like you're leaning into the wind all the time. So let's try not to delude ourselves. Let's try a dose of reality and try and deal with things as they really are, not what they might be, not what they were. And I think that is what humans do best. We kind of close in on the right answer. There are no particular right answers except the answer that is has utility in that particular moment, and that can change from moment to moment. So regardless what your position is spiritually, this is a great game that we are in with consequences, and so it is best to be wide awake, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed and aware. So navigate those bends and curves that life throws at you just the same way as you would navigate your car around a series of S bends. You keep your eyes open, you keep your hands on the wheel, and you watch where you're going. And 99 times out of 100 you will avoid going over the edge of the cliff or into the ditch. And trust me, where I live in Canada, that is a real and present hazard. So, like I say, I think deluding ourselves is always a mistake. To think the things are always good or always bad. Neither of those are basically helpful. We have to see things as they really are. When you see a curve coming up, well, negotiate that curve. But to pretend that they're not there and to delude ourselves is a huge mistake, and it is not how we got this far in navigating the history of humankind. Okay, it's been a long trip, but we got here by keeping our eye on the ball and focusing on what really works and what doesn't. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed those three little stories and were as bemused as I was into thinking more carefully about deluding myself about what's really going on in the world today. Okay, so you take care. Please like and subscribe, and please leave a comment. We always love to hear anything that you have to say, and I'll try and reply to as many comments as I can. Hasn't been quite as easy in the summer because I've been extremely busy with the election, but I hope to catch up on some of my replies, and I love reading your comments. Okay, so you take care. You have a great week, and we'll talk to you real soon. See you now. Bye.